Going across to our breaking update, what we are getting to know of the evacuation plan that continues on part of India. And Indian Air Force C-130J transport aircraft took off from Kabul with over 85 Indians, and the aircraft that has now landed in Tajikistan for refueling. The Indian government officials are helping in evacuation of the Indian citizens on the ground in Kabul. That is what we are getting to know of yet another evacuation aircraft that had landed in Kabul. Let me straight away go across to Piyush now for a quick update. Piyush, we are looking at speedy evacuations taking place from Kabul by India. Over 85 stranded Indian citizens have now been evacuated.
Well, yes, that's the update. Well, yes, that's the update which we are right now picking, where 85 Indian stores are stranded there in Kabul. They are being brought to India. We are getting details from a news agency where we are now told is that Indian Air Force C-130J transport aircraft, it has taken off from Kabul with over 85 Indians, and the aircraft landed earlier in Tajikistan for refueling, and now Indian government officials are helping in evacuation of Indian citizens on the ground in Kabul. We already know that earlier entire embassy staff has been evacuated. Around more than 125 passengers were brought in last time, and now once again 85 Indian citizens are being brought to India. What we are learning from our sources is that this aircraft landed in Tajikistan for refueling, and now it is on its way back to India. What we are also picking is that most likely it will land at Hindon Air Base. Last two flights we have seen how these two flights also landed there at Hindon Air Base. In fact, yesterday morning one flight was to come, one aircraft was to land there at Hindon Air Base, but due to some problem it could not come. And now sources are telling us is that this aircraft is likely to reach there, in India in a few hours from now, because after refueling from Tajikistan, it has, taken off from Tajikistan and on its way back to Kabul. We'll have to wait and watch how the Indian officials are going to put more efforts as far as evacuating the stranded Indians are there. In fact, we know as to how Prime Minister Narendra Modi has been personally monitoring all the developments. He has been chairing series of meetings. Two meetings he has already chaired back-to-back of CCS, where in the first meeting he was briefed about the kind of situation which is there in Afghanistan, in Kabul, and at that time itself he had told to officials to ensure that there is proper evacuation of each and every stranded citizens. In fact, not only Indian citizens, if there are some Afghan brothers, if they want to come, even they should also be evacuated. He had focused on evacuating minorities also from Afghanistan, be it Hindus or Sikhs. And right now what we are now learning is that this flight which is coming, in which 85 Indian citizens are there, most likely maximum of them could be the one who was standing there in Gurdwara in Afghanistan, because Manjit Singh Sirsa, who is also president of DSGMC, he spoke to PMO, and PMO had assured him
Piyush,
that
thanks
yes,
very much for
all
getting
this
us the update. So what is being said that yet another round of evacuation taking on part from India, where an Indian Air Force C-130J transport aircraft that took off from Kabul with over 80 Indians, where it is now landed in Tajikistan for refueling, and it is on its way to India, where the Indian government officials are also helping out in the evacuation process of the Indian citizens.